Hey guys, the Pink Princess Philodendron is one of the most desirable houseplants, period. This houseplant has been and will continue to be extremely popular and beloved. Not only because it's pink and we all love our pink foliage houseplants, but because this plant right here is one of the most expensive and hardest to find houseplants. When I was in business school, one of the first concepts they teach you in economics is WTP. That's willingness to pay. So how much are we talking here? And how much was I willing to pay for this little Pink Princess Philodendron? Well, let's take a look. On Etsy, similar starter plants, just like this one, are going for in and around $245. Okay, so why are folks willing to pay so much? Well, as I explained in my pink foliage video, pink plants are, well, extremely popular. And social media has definitely added fuel to the fire that is the beauty of blushing houseplants. And the Pink Princess just so happens to be at the top of that list. At the end of the day, these vining houseplants from Brazil with pink variegated leaves, these have become the holy grail for most plant parents and plant lovers. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler, and if you like what you're seeing or you find this video to be useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or better yet, you can subscribe to my channel. So if you do get your hands on a Pink Princess, what do you need to know in terms of care, and what should you expect in terms of coloration? There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to make sure you get it right. All right, so I did pay $99 for my Pink Princess starter philodendron at my preferred local nursery. This plant is just starting its life out and it's pretty small, but I really look forward to nurturing this Pink Princess into adulthood. First things first, I'm going to repot this plant not in a larger container, but with a better, more well-draining soil mix. Philodendron, the Pink Princess being no exception, need well-draining soil, and it's a good idea to let the soil mix dry out in between waterings. Now, the soil that this little Pink Princess came with and the soil in the pot seems to be holding on to a little bit more moisture than I would like. Now, the mix that I'm going to be using here today is a combination of perlite, coconut coir, and some grit for drainage. Okay, take a look at this. See how these roots have some fuzziness to them? That's a good sign to look out for, and that tells us that the roots are healthy and happy. Wow, super interesting. So you can actually now see the original little plug that this plant started out life in, now that I've removed some of that extra soil that was holding on to a little bit too much moisture. All right, so I wouldn't normally want to repot something so soon with it being such a small size, but ultimately I just really wasn't happy with the soil mix that it was currently in, so I just did want to, change that up and make it something more suitable. Anyways, that aside, and before getting into crucial care tips, I need to address the elephant in the room. Everyone wants to know, how pink will their Pink Princess be? There are a few important points that I would like to make. First, it's next to impossible to know what will happen or how pink or how variegated your Pink Princess will be. Typically, new growth looks different from the more mature leaves, and that's the case for the Pink Princess. So if we take a look here, this leaf right here is the newest growth, and it has sort of this sort of darker burgundy coloration to it, which is different from the more mature leaves. And I just want to show you guys, I have a Birkin Philodendron, and it's the same sort of idea. As you can see here, the newest growth is very variegated. You can see it's a lot more white and there's less green than the more mature leaves down here, which are mostly green with just a little bit of variegation. Currently, I have one very pink leaf while the others are, you know, mostly green, but they do have some pink variegation on them. Now, these pink portions on the leaves, they don't have any chlorophyll, which means that they can't convert the sun's energy for the plant, right? Only the green parts can do that. Basically, what I mean here is, you know, the entire leaf really can't be all pink. It would look amazing and it would be, you know, super cool, but that would kind of defeat the functionality of the leaf, so you definitely need some green in there. If you do have a mature Pink Princess, then there are some sort of ways that you can propagate, basically in the portion that you choose to propagate, to create a more sort of pink, a more pink foliage plant. And basically that's kind of what has happened over time to create these more indulgent and rosy plants. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let me get into crucial care tips and how to best care for the Pink Princess Philodendron. These plants need bright indirect light, and the more intense you can make that indirect light, the better the chances are of having more pink in your variegated Pink Princess. Direct sunlight is not a good idea for these plants. At most, maybe some direct early morning sun or super late evening sun, but ultimately, bright indirect light is best. And when it comes to watering this houseplant, you really do want the soil to dry out in between waterings. So depending on the size of the plant, the soil mix that you have, and the amount of bright indirect light it's receiving, all of those things sort of will dictate how much water to give it, but we're talking here like maybe once a week. I water this plant once every other week, and that seems to be sort of the best for it. But it is in this kokedama, which is, you know, slightly different. So you've got to kind of consider all of the conditions. Do you have a Pink Princess Philodendron? Do you want one? Have you heard of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Oh yeah, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or hit that subscribe button. Miss you guys already. That's all for me. See you next Saturday.